This evening I spoke about Emmanuel's school decision with political commentators Dan Proft and Gerard McClendon. So Gerard, is Mayor Emmanuel violating any kind of moral or political obligation by sending his kids to private school?
You know, Robin, I don't know if he's violating a moral or political obligation, but it seems awfully strange that we have a brand new mayor who brings in Jean-Claude Brizard, and they're talking about improving the schools, and this mayor cannot send his child to a Chicago public school. It reminds me of when I spoke with former superintendent of police, Jody Weiss, and I asked him, would you live in Roseland or would you live in Inglewood? And he said no. I asked him the question twice and he said no. And so this mayor is basically saying the same things. The schools are good enough for someone else, but they're not good enough for my child.
Dan Proft, what do you think? Same thing?
Well, look, I think there's hypocrisy here. I'm glad Rahm Emanuel supports school choice for children with the last name of Emanuel, but for the other 375,000 children in the Chicago public school system that do not get access to a quality education, that are relegated to schools that everyone knows will fail them, just as they have failed generations of children, that's the problem. The issue is discriminating against children based on their household income and their address. Rahm Emanuel wants to do the best for his kids. Well, there's a lot of other families that don't have the means or the political connections of Rahm Emanuel that want to do the best for their children as well, but they can't do that with CPS in its current form. And I know, just one other thing too, you know, there's somebody else who doesn't send their children to Chicago public schools, and that's 40% of CPS teachers. So what do they know about the system in which they teach?
Gerard, can you blame the guy for trying to do the best for his kids that he can afford to do?
You can't blame him. And from one who has started charter schools in other states, you know, I'm all for school choice. I'm all for vouchers. I think that a parent has the right to put their child in any school that they would like to be in. However, you know, Rahm Emanuel, he's been talking big stuff lately. He's talking about Chicago being an international city, being a first-class city, and he's not saying that for the schools by not choosing to send his children to CPS.
Now, Dan, I know you're into vouchers as well. You think everybody should have that choice and just the money should follow the kid. But is it fair, really, to use his children to make a political point?
We're not using his children. We're not using his children. I respect whatever decision he wants to make in terms of availing his children of the best possible education. God bless him. The issue is in his public position as the head, really, Brizard notwithstanding, the true head of the Chicago public school system. He continues to propagate a system that discriminates against children based on household income and address, and you can't say it enough.
That's
Gerard,
right.
You get the last word.
You know what? He can be an example. Find a Chicago public school, Rahm Emanuel, that you can send your child to. Be the example, first-class city.
Now, the Chicago Teachers Union got maybe a little cheeky in its response to Mayor Emanuel's announced decision. It says, "We understand why he would choose a school with small class sizes, a broad, rich curriculum that offers world languages, the arts, and physical education, a focus on critical thinking, not test-taking, a teacher and an assistant in every elementary classroom, and paid high-quality professional development for their teachers. It's wonderful that he has that option available to him." End quote.